Are you kidding me? This chocolate cereal has a higher health star rating than extra virgin olive oil. And surprisingly, Pepsi Max does too. It seems that the health industry has a serious problem, as nutrition has been hijacked and breakfast is the most important meal to get right. So today I'll be exposing the 7 worst breakfast foods that doctors warn against, and some of these might shock you. So we're not just talking about soda and donuts, but other deceptive foods that have been pushed as healthy for decades. And you might be eating some of these every single day. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to avoid and how to start your day with the foods that actually nourish your body. So first up, let's have a look at these so-called heart-healthy cereals that are basically just dessert in disguise. They've been marketed as the go-to breakfast for ages, but most of the cereal on the market is really just candy in a box. Just look at the labels. Many of these cereals pack sugar levels comparable to a candy bar. And it isn't only just about the sugar, the heavy refining process actually strips away the important fiber and nutrients. And what you get is a food that digests almost instantly, which sends your blood sugar skyrocketing only to crash soon after. So no wonder you're hungry again an hour later. So why are all these cereals still pushed as healthy? The simple answer is profit, plain and simple. The food industry wants you to buy their cheap, processed grains, and they want you to become addicted to them. You may be thinking, aren't they part of the food pyramid? And aren't I meant to be having a healthy serving of grains every day? The USDA food pyramid, the one that told you to eat 6 to 11 servings of grain per day, it actually wasn't created purely from science. It was shaped by agricultural interests. During the Great Depression, the US government started subsidizing wheat and corn to keep farmers afloat. This eventually created a surplus of cheap grains, and in response, the USDA's food pyramid was released, conveniently placing grains at the base. That's why we eat cereals for breakfast. And I say enough is enough. It's time to see these breakfast cereals for what they really are, which is highly processed junk food, which is masquerading as a healthy start to your day. When you strip away the clever marketing, the cartoon mascots, and the misleading health claims, what you're left with is basically a bowl of refined sugar and processed grains that's been fortified with a few synthetic vitamins to make it seem nutritious. And the fact that these products can display the heart-healthy logo while containing even more sugar than a candy bar just shows you how broken our food labeling system has become. And the thing you must be aware of here is that the damage doesn't just stop with one meal. It creates a domino effect. So starting your day with this blood sugar roller coaster sets you up for unstoppable cravings, energy crashes, and poor food choices for the rest of the day. We will get to the better breakfast choices later on, but for now, let's move on to something just as common and just as bad. At number 6, we have toast and pastries. Toast with jam, croissants, a muffin, they all seem harmless, right? But unfortunately, they are a lot worse for you than most people think. In fact, it's the same problem as cereal, just worse. Most toast, pancakes, bagels, and muffins are made from refined wheat, which your body treats like sugar. In fact, just 2 slices of whole wheat bread can raise your blood sugar higher than 6 teaspoons of table sugar. This is because of a carb in wheat called amylopectin A. Now this carb breaks down fast, leading to glucose spikes and insulin surges. But that's not all. Grains can actually lead to nutrient deficiencies. And that might sound surprising. After all, we've been told they're a good source of vitamins. But modern wheat isn't the same as it used to be. Not only does refining strip away the key nutrients, but modern wheat is also grown with chemicals and pesticides that affect absorption. So this can lead to low levels of zinc, magnesium, iron, and B vitamins, nutrients that are essential for immune function, heart health, energy, and brain function. And over time, these deficiencies add up, contributing to fatigue, poor circulation, and even mood imbalances. For many people, this shows up as cardiovascular inflammation, digestive issues, and joint pain. Now, if you really do love toast, try making your own with bread using healthy ingredients like almond flour, coconut flour, and pumpkin. And personally, I think this bread tastes amazing and it avoids all of the problems of modern wheat. Okay, at number 5, make sure to stay away from margarine and margarine-like products. Do you remember when margarine was the healthy alternative to butter? Well, this was a complete joke. That was a relic from the low-fat craze of the 80s and 90s, when we were all told that saturated fat was the enemy. Researchers now know that margarine is one of the worst things you can put in your body. Most margarines are made from highly processed vegetable oils, often hydrogenated to create a butter-like texture. This process creates artificial trans fats, which have been directly linked to clogged arteries and heart disease. And don't be fooled by these newer so-called healthier spreads, as many nut butter replacements are just as bad. Now, in many countries, food companies can legally call a product trans fat-free, even if it still contains trans fats. As long as it's under 0.5 grams per serving, they're allowed to round it down to 0. But all of these small amounts add up fast, especially if you're using it daily. That's why you should always check the back of the package. If you see partially hydrogenated oils or trans fats anywhere on the label, put it back on the shelf. Next, your morning coffee can have some unique health benefits, but it depends what you put into it. Now, coffee itself contains powerful antioxidants and can even support brain function. But if you add the wrong creamer, you're turning it into a chemical cocktail. Coffee creamers are filled with artificial thickeners, hydrogenated oils, and synthetic emulsifiers, which are all designed to create a creamy texture without real dairy. Now, carrageenan is particularly bad. Carrageenan is a common emulsifier found in many coffee creamers, and research suggests it may seriously increase your risk of high blood pressure and diabetes. And if you're using a sugar-free creamer, don't assume you're making a better choice. As we'll discuss in a second, sugar-free doesn't mean it's better for you. Real dairy, half and half, coconut milk, or almond milk are much better options. And if you can find it, hazelnut milk is amazing in coffee. So counting down to the worst of the worst now. At number 3, if you think switching to artificial sweeteners is a good idea, you might want to reconsider. For years now, we've been sold on the idea that artificial sweeteners are the perfect sugar alternative. 0 calories, no blood sugar spikes. The marketing departments really outdid themselves with this one. Let's look at aspartame, which is found in most diet sodas. Scientists initially celebrated this compound that's 200 times sweeter than sugar without the calories. Then reality hit. This 2017 study revealed that regular consumers of artificially sweetened drinks had a 300% higher risk of dementia and stroke. Not exactly the healthy choice they advertised. Other sweeteners like sucralose and acesulfame, potassium, wreck your gut bacteria. They throw off your digestion, mess with your metabolism, and make you crave even more sugar, which is the exact thing you were trying to avoid. If you're trying to cut sugar, there are better options. Stevia, monk fruit, and honey are natural choices that don't come with the same risks. But what's the best approach? Slowly reduce your reliance on added sweeteners altogether, and over time your taste buds will adjust and you probably won't even miss it. Okay, we're at number 2 now, and we have flavored yogurt. So you've probably seen those single-serving yogurt cups with fruit at the bottom or colorful labels screaming low fat, which sounds pretty healthy, right? Well, not exactly, as most flavored yogurts are just another sugar bomb disguised as health food. Take a look at the label, and you'll often find 15 to 20 grams of sugar per serving, which is actually more than some ice creams. And it's not just the obvious ones with caramel swirls or the candy toppings. Even fruit on the bottom yogurts are loaded with added sugar, high fructose corn syrup, and artificial flavors. And here's something that many people don't even know. If the label says low fat, that usually makes things worse. So when manufacturers remove fat, they replace it with sugar or artificial thickeners to keep the texture creamy. That's why a lot of diet yogurts are actually worse for blood sugar and cravings than the full-fat versions. Contrast this with plain Greek yogurt. It's packed with protein, probiotics, and healthy fats that keep you full. And if you do want a little sweetness, then you can add real fruit yourself. A handful of berries will give you fiber and antioxidants, but without the sugar overload. Now, Greek yogurt is good, but there's something even better: kefir. We'll get into kefir more when we count down the very best breakfast foods, but first, our number one worst breakfast food is fruit juice. Now, you wouldn't eat 3 oranges in one sitting, would you? But that's exactly what you're doing when you drink a glass of orange juice, which is without the fiber to slow down the sugar hit. Fruit juice is essentially sugar water, and it wreaks havoc on your body. It spikes blood sugar, fuels diabetes, clogs arteries, wrecks your liver, and accelerates dementia. So if you want fruit, eat it whole, but with juice, it belongs in the same category as soda. So that's the worst breakfast options. And before we get to the healthiest ways to start the day, is this useful? If so, please click the like button, it really does help. And if you want to see more videos as we release them, click subscribe and turn notifications on. First off, squeeze some lemon into warm water, as it helps kickstart digestion, helps control blood sugar, and even boosts nutrition absorption. It's a small step that makes a huge difference. Next, let's explore a famous myth. Eggs don't cause heart disease. In fact, they're one of the best foods for your heart. They're packed with a protein to keep your blood sugar steady, plus choline for brain health, and omega-3s to fight inflammation. Avocados belong on your plate too. The healthy fats help cholesterol function properly, keep blood sugar stable, and make any meal more satisfying. Chia seeds are a no-brainer. They're loaded with fiber, omega-3s, and plant-based protein. They're great for digestion and keep you full for hours. You can soak them overnight with some milk and cinnamon, and you've got an easy, delicious breakfast pudding. Kefir is a gut health powerhouse, which has way more probiotics than yogurt, and it helps reduce inflammation and absorbs nutrients better. And nuts round things out. Packed with healthy fats and protein, they support brain function and keep you full. So a handful of walnuts, almonds, or macadamias is perfect. And finally, berries. They're loaded with antioxidants and polyphenols that help protect your heart, fight inflammation, and even sharpen your memory. Unlike fruit juice, you get all of the benefits without the sugar overload. Beyond these, there are a few extremely powerful foods that you probably wouldn't eat for breakfast. So next, you can watch our video on the top 10 superfoods that can heal your heart.